the Gold Cup is upon us, people. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look through 5 players to look out for the Jamaican national team.
I tell you the truth, the first person me have to look out for, you will better understand it when I give my starting 11. But it's Nana, Damian Lowe. And the reason for this is, I'm expecting him, or I want him to play in the midfield, in a midfield role. I saw how he played in the friendly the other day, and so I hope Tapa have it up his sleeve to play him in the midfield. Reason why I'm excited about this, and I'm going to give a certain perspective. England in the Euros has been one of the better defensive teams in terms of clean sheets, and right? Would you say Declan Rice had a lot to do with that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you look at Nana stats in comparison to Rice, I'm going to run down. Because I know how people kill me. All right, so as it relates to possessions, right? Possession win, or how much tackles they make. Nana beat Rice over the season. We're talking about over the last season. 2.6 interceptions in my gear per game. Nana, Rice I give 1. Aerial duels 1, Nana I give 70%. While Rice I give 37%. You see what I say? Ground duel, Nana I give 66%. While Rice I give 37%. Interceptions, as I say, Nana I give 2.4, Rice I give 2.2. Now, that translating into midfield, you're telling me that's not a beast?
Well, it's not the same type of game in midfield as defense, because if as a defender, you're expected to make more of these than a midfield.
Is it though? Because the stats that I gave you was interceptions. More interceptions, the game is won and lost in the middle of the field. So you are tasked to come up against more duels, come into more duels in the midfield.
So what you're saying is that he has the ability, and he's just
percentages wise,
and he's just taking that into the mid. Okay.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
And so that makes Nana one of the most intriguing prospect in the Gold Cup for me.
I take your point, and the Serbia game, he looked really good in that defensive midfield position. I'm not sure if they're going to play, but it's definitely something we can consider, especially depending on the formation that we play.
Right.
So yeah, but the player for me is a player we actually were clamoring for, and then got eventually. Andre Gray. So he came in to replace Javon East, who's out with an injury, I believe, and I couldn't see a better forward to come into the team. This is a man that would get back in his own half and making tackles, but then he's a man that would be running in behind, and he's a man that will finish anything while coming at the box. I mean, not that he's the most clinical striker in the world, but certainly in terms of what we need in this Jamaica team and what he brings to the team, especially as it relates to against the quality of the rest of Concacaf, I don't see anything but goals coming from Andre Gray.
Now I take that point still, and also something we can add to that too. Over the past years, it's been one of the things that's been an issue was leadership in the squad. Now you have Nana being in midfield topper, and you have a man like Andre Gray with his level of experience up top, leading the line. Experience, it brings a lot of a certain leadership style to the team as well. So I definitely take that. Another player I'm excited to see, one of the new boys, Tariq Lamptey. You see me? Coming out of West Ham Academy. West Ham Academy will give away Joe Cole, Frankie Lampard, Rio Ferdinand, Bobby Moore, technical technical ballers. You see me? Bobby Moore and Rio Ferdinand, the best ball playing defenders you ever see. Technical. You get me? And now Tariq Lamptey coming out now, out of the same new age, what you call that? Inside forward. Playing off the left, cutting on the right. Rocket off a foot. You see what I say? And in him, what I'm more excited to see is his relationship with him build with Taxi down the left. You see me? Because imagine him a cut in, Taxi a bomb down the left. You see me? And we're going to get into this more, but that's the way more I want to see them play. Him coming and to put things into perspective, we would have said one of the top forward for Jamaica. Leon Bailey. Means a man love put things into perspective, you know. Look on some stats compared to him and Leon Bailey now. Goals and assists. So goals contribution, goals and assists. Tariq got a 0.9 per game. Liam Bailey I give 0.8 per game. Shot accuracy, Tariq give 54%. Liam Bailey I give 52%. We know Liam Bailey to be a technical player. So accuracy a part of that. And Tariq have a better, you see me? Passing accuracy, Bailey definitely beat him in that 78% to 67%. And then crossing, you look on Tariq give how was that? About 37% to Bailey 38%. You get what I say? Not far off. Plus, he might get tackling. He get one successful tackle per game, per 90 minutes. So he's a youth hard working. You see what I say? And if you have a situation where taxi a bomb down the wing, you need somebody who will help track back and think on that wing there. You get what I say? So he's a hard working brother. And brother, I'm very excited because I say he have a rocket of a foot. And he's a technical baller. Watch out for him, definitely watch out for him. You probably don't know about him yet, but he's a youth for watch out for, definitely.
I would say though, while I take all those stats, you have to consider that Liam Bailey is doing that at Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Tariq is doing that in Switzerland.
Right.
Or sorry, it's in Sweden. So there you have to consider that level difference. But I do take the point in the sense that he's contributing a lot just the same. Because that's still a lot to contribute. And then too, it's not as though we're going up against the best of the world right away.
Exactly.
You know, if it's even in the group stages, we can expect that he would help us get through. And then from there, we should just go from strength to strength. I tell you who I am interested in seeing.
Who that know?
Tariq Lamptey. I'm not saying that he necessarily would get the most game. But I am interested in seeing how he's come along because, I mean, coming from Jamaica College, he was one of the brightest young talents in Jamaica, right? And he rose up, got some notoriety, went overseas and such, but there was still a rawness to his talent, to his ability that needed to be refined. And we see where he's been refining some of that, of late.
Right.
And I'd like to see how he managed. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to come up against the guy that was before him, Junior Fleming, because he was the young talent at JC before.
Right. And it's funny you mentioned Fleming because I was going to say, you started off by saying you're not sure how many games he's going to get. Junior Fleming, I think, is going to be the reason why I'm not get much game. Because for me, in the last Gold Cup campaign, Junior Fleming played that 8 role. And he played it well for me. There was a lot of group chats that I was put on blast for because I said he was the player of the tournament for me. And it's because he's an engine. Living engine. He might give him all. You see me? And over the past year, barring the whole allegation thing that he went through, we're not going to mention that, but he was the leading goal scorer in the USL. You get me? So he added goals. And he added goals to his game. So if you have that engine running up and down for you, doing it for him country, plus him add goal, I feel like as a number 8 box to box, is the perfect player in the system that I want us to play. You get me? And so Junior Fleming for me is another one that you should watch out for.
I agree with you. But then I think the one player that everybody would be watching out for is Liam Bailey.
Bala.
Yeah, man. There's no Jamaica team that thrives that doesn't have Liam Bailey in it.
Facts.
Right now, I mean, we don't even have to argue it. We don't have to sit here and debate the best player coming out of Jamaica. We know it's him. But what I think is key is how he forms the relationship up front with Andre Gray and maybe with Blair Tariq himself or Bobby Reed, whoever that we decide to go with. But I think the best position for him would be on the right-hand side, where he can cut inside and he can probably drift in and out as he so chooses. I feel like if you were playing down the left, he would most likely continue down the line, and that probably wouldn't get the most out of him.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is, playing on the right as well, he can bomb down the wing and give you a cross because he is two-footed.
Yeah.
He's a technical guy. You get me? So I feel like we can get the best of both worlds with him. And one of the things that I hope Tapa do to open up that wing for him personally, get a defensive-minded right back. So you don't have to worry about him tracking back too much. Give him the wing for himself.
Okay.
You get what I say?
Yeah.
Give him the wing for himself, get a defensive right back there, and trust me, we might get a player of the year from him.
Well,
Or at least a player of the tournament.
well, I see him maybe somewhere in the top of the goal scoring and assist numbers, especially if, like you say, we get somebody that can cover for him defensively, and he has the chemistry with the rest of the front line. But that's what we're looking at. Who are you guys looking forward to for the Gold Cup? World Cup, my dream. Who are you looking forward to?
I win World Cup too.
Eh?
It's a forward yard.
That's how that, yeah, man.